Thanks to the support as a channel member, Will Johnson. Well, I am now officially claiming we deliberately got knocked out of the Conference League. Rewrite the previous episode. It is the best thing we could have done because we now look on course to head back into the Champions League. Hello and welcome to part 66 of the Tour de France. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have two games for you in the league because that's all we have this season. We're at home against Leyton Orient and away against Monaco. Since you were last with me, as you can see, our form has turned around from that rubbish last episode that we had when all of our players were falling apart and everything was all going wrong. The league table is looking very handsome. We're up in third place, only 4 points behind Paris Saint Germain, Lille, top of the league, which does, I think, put into context that defeat against Lille, the fact they have had an absolutely outstanding start to the season, but then beating us, probably a blessing in disguise, just like getting knocked out of the Conference League was, because that defeat against Lille off the back of the defeat in the Conference League led me to go out and spend money that we needed to spend. I've been a little bit too tight with my purse strings, not wanting to cause any financial problems at the club, but we went out and got 5 players on deadline day. Christopher Robin off of Winnie the Pooh is in as just an attacking midfield option. I don't really know how to use him yet. As you can see, he's only made 2 substitute appearances. I'll level with you. I signed him mainly because he's called Christopher Robin. He's an attacking midfielder, which we don't use. He can play central midfield or up front or on the left wing. He'll get game time. You saw in the last episode that we were having to play centre-backs in central midfield. He will get game time when we get desperate. But yeah, mainly signed because I like Winnie the Pooh. We also signed a young player from Monaco, Kevin Pierre. We've got a bit of a theme this season of signing players with 2 first names, the first of which is Kevin. We've got Kevin Simon and Kevin Pierre of both. I'm trying to build a team of Kevs. Tom FM did it in the Streamer Showdown with his team of Toms. At my suggestion, I might add, we're going for a team of Kevs. We're starting with Simon and Pierre, the Kevin varieties. We then spent £1.2 million to loan a player from Paris Saint Germain. Martin de Palacio Langa is a 19-year-old current Mexican international who is another central midfielder, can also play attacking midfield. We've got some players who can play in this role now. This is a guy, I know a lot of the loans we've brought in, we've ended up signing permanently. I suspect that's not going to be the case with this guy. I think he's going to go on to be a world superstar. For a start, we're not going to be able to pay a £31.5 million future fee. He's not looked fantastic for us yet, only coming off the bench, but give him time. He is going to be a superstar. Plus, off my former club Chivas as well. He's only ever played for teams I've managed in Football Manager videos, which I know I've been doing this a long time now. There's a lot of teams I've managed, but there are probably very few players who've played for more than a couple of teams who've only played for Kev teams. We then went back to our parent club Monaco again for another loan. Juan Manuel Gonzalez, a Spanish under-21 international at 19 years old. He's a centre mid who can also play centre back, right back, so covers a lot of those positions we needed covering. 2-star potential, 2-star current ability, 5-star potential, and then the final one was Pierre Brun, who is just a backup goalkeeper. He's not very good, but we brought him in because we loaned Claverie out, our current third-choice goalkeeper. He went out on loan because he wanted some game time. So yeah, 5 players in. 4 of them actually properly into the first team squad. And hopefully we're not going to have the issue of running out of players again and not being able to rotate again that we had in the last episode. It's a 23-man squad now, of which 3 of them are goalkeepers. To me, perfect size squad. And fingers crossed, we carry on winning all the football matches that we've been winning with this perfect sized squad. So enough chatter. Let's go. In fact, it's not enough chatter. There's one more piece of chatter because I noticed this. Have you ever seen this before in Football Manager? My assistant manager has made it onto the favoured personnel list as a manager. Now, I checked. He's never managed the club. He's never actually been a manager. He was a player who largely played for Clermont in his career, has spent most of his coaching career at our rivals Clermont as well, was there for 25 years as player, fitness coach, and then assistant manager for the last 17 years that he was there. He's been our assistant manager for the last 4 years, and that's enough to get him onto our favoured personnel list, which I think is quite interesting, the fact that he's made it on there. Obviously, I'm still the only club legend, as it should be. So, our team for Leyton Orient, we have, why have we got Tiem Carney in goal? What's past Kev up to? Magothu's injured. That's not good. He's picked. That must have happened just because I don't think he missed the previous match. No, that must have happened just at the end of my playing the in-betweeny bit session, and I never noticed the injury, despite apparently changing the team. I was playing late at night. So TM Carney is in to make his debut for us. £1.6 million he cost us in the summer. We don't know if he's going to be any good or not. I guess we're going to find out today. We've then got Simon Say. How have I only just noticed that's basically Simon Says? We've got Simon Say, Bertrand and Frey as the back four. Thomas at the base of the midfield with Fowry and Milinkovic the wrong way round in front of him. Let's fix that. And then Millet on the left and Guamer on the right and Afkir Omar up front. And a much stronger bench where we have Christopher Robin, we have Benavides, we have Gonzalez, we have Di Girolamo. We're so good that it doesn't matter that De Palacio Langer is off on international duty with Mexico. We've not even noticed he's gone. And Oliver Vaquero, Quentin Merlin can't even get on the bench at the moment. We've gone from having no strength in depth at all to potentially upsetting some long-standing players if they start to struggle for game time. But we got it's impossible. It's really impossible because if we'd have been in Europe, this squad's perfect. Not in Europe, arguably, looking at that, a little bit overloaded in midfield now. But that was the lack of midfielders is what cost us our spot in Europe this year. So I guess there's no one player bigger than the club. If we have to upset Vaquero and Merlin as part of getting ourselves back in the Champions League, then so be it. I've had a look at the club finances. Quite frankly, if we don't get back in the Champions League this year, there's potentially a little bit of trouble brewing. We're down to a £10 million balance. We've just spent £5 million on training facilities. We've got a £40 million new stadium that we're currently building. And our income has just taken a huge hit because we're not going to have Champions League or European income of any kind this season. So if we don't get back in sharpish, we might find ourselves in a situation where we are having to sell the likes of Omar and Millet, not because they necessarily want to go, because none of them have asked to leave yet. They seem quite happy here. But we might need to get rid of them just because we can't afford to pay them anymore, or we need the money to balance the books. Millet is in here trying to play it across to Fowry, who's shot. I mean, it wrong-footed the goalkeeper, but unfortunately was blocked by a defender, Milinkovic, from range with the shot, but it goes just over. And looking at the likes of Milinkovic as well, and also Magothu, the new superstar goalkeeper, we've got both of them at £8 million future transfers if we can find a way to afford them. We're not going to be able to do that if we're not in the Champions League, are we? We're going to have some decisions to make this summer around these attackers, to be fair. I mean, we did turn down 25 million, I think, again for Fowry this summer. So there's probably the argument that we sell Fowry, use the money to buy Milinkovic and the goalkeeper, and that could all go through this summer. And I think this is probably the final year at the club for Nguema as well. So there's changes afoot. We're always planning for future changes. But at the moment, I'm just enjoying being half decent again, although we've not actually taken the lead yet in this game against Lorient, who are a team you would expect us to be able to beat. Omar with the cross, looking for Fowry, and he's fouled Millet, in fact, who comes in off that far post, doing what Millet does best, cutting in as the inside forward. Both him and Fowry were almost on top of each other there, but thankfully didn't get in each other's way, and we grabbed the goal. It's good work from Omar, taking it wide, playing the crossover, and it was a little bit long for Fowry, but perfect for Millet, who was coming in behind him, who I didn't even notice when the original cross was hit. So shows just how good Omar is. He's got better vision than me. Who'd have thought a top-level professional footballer has better vision than me, a man who sits in a cupboard and plays video games? Right, let's try and keep things fresh in this team. Say is going to go over to left back. Matt Seema can come on for him. Millet is tired, so Benavides can come on for him. Thomas can come off. We're going to drop Milinkovic back so that we can get Christopher Robin on in midfield and play him in the more attacking role. And we might actually, in fact, no, we'll bring Gonzalez on to play right back. That's the joy of having someone who's flexible and able to play. They're just the 4 changes. We've taken off everybody who's tiring, and we've still got Di Girolamo and Carr sat there on the bench ready to come on if needed. I love strength in depth. We should have been doing this for years. Why didn't anybody suggest a deeper squad? We've basically got the squad numbers wise now back to what they were pre-signing Omar. when we had to sell everything that wasn't tied down and never really replaced the numbers. Although the quality kept going up, we never actually replaced the numbers. And I think we're now back to the point where we've got numbers in the squad again. And hopefully it'll be the difference maker between us finishing 7th last year and getting back into the Champions League like we did the year before when we had numbers and were able to rotate. It's not necessarily about having the best quality squad. Sometimes you just need to have players who are fit. Managerial nuggets with Kev. That's what you're getting today. We're going to take off Nguema as the final change. Di Girolamo can come on for him on the right-hand side. And fingers crossed, we just cruise through to victory now. We've made it look a little bit more complicated than it needed to be. But hopefully, Clem Carney will get his first clean sheet on his first match. Although, was that Matt Seamer making it hard for everybody there? But we just about get away with it, and we do pick up another win. Now we have to play Monaco. We've signed 4 Monaco players in the last year. People have been telling me for ages to raid Monaco. We've finally been in a position where we can. I'd like to beat them, please. Folks, I just want to take a moment to thank today's episode sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for anyone who loves learning and wants to explore their creativity and learn new skills. Invest in yourself and your personal growth. Have you got a specific skill you're trying to learn? Skillshare is the perfect place to start. From photography and illustration to graphic design, freelancing and more, you can find classes that will match your goals and interests. Now, believe it or not, I've not been able to maintain daily video releases for the last 7 years. By accident, I'm forever looking for ways to improve my productivity and time management. And one of the ways I'm doing that at the moment is with this class from Thomas Frank, a fellow YouTuber, Mastering Productivity, Create a Custom System That Works. The bit I like most about this, I am a Google Calendar nerd, just like Thomas Frank is, and seeing how he sets his calendar up gives me ideas for how I can make mine even more efficient and keep going with the daily content forever and ever and ever. Skillshare's ad-free, so you can stay in the zone whilst exploring your new skills. They have new premium classes launching every week, so there's always something new to discover. And the entire catalogue is now available with subtitles in English, French, Spanish, German, and Portuguese. And if somehow all that isn't enough, I've got a further incentive for you, because the first 1,000 people to use the link at the top of the description below will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. What are you waiting for? Go click it now. Right, just the one change for the Monaco game. I think we have to get Magothu back in. So Magothu is back in. He's not completely fit, but he's fit enough to play. It's just a pulled abdominal muscle. Since when did any human being need any kind of abdominal muscle? I certainly have never seen any on my body. Therefore, I assume they're not required. Let's get the team submitted and fingers crossed get one over our parent club, which would be super duper. We're both currently sat in Champions League qualification spots. We're 3rd, Monaco are 4th. And then you've got the little bit of the battle between Paris Saint Germain and Lille at the top of the league. I quite like the fact that this year us and Lille have inserted ourselves into what has been a 2-team race for the entirety of the save so far. If we can turn this into a big 4, I am very much happy to be part of the big 4. I think Lyon, Marseille, they're probably going to have something to say about that. And they're both lurking as well. But I'd like to get ahead of myself. We've conceded a goal with the first shot of the match. Certainly the first highlight of the match is a goal from range. Magothu, would he have saved that if he'd have had all of his abdominals in place? Maybe he would have done. Maybe they're crucial for saving that kind of goal. I guess we'll never know. I mean, he's landed on his abdominals there, so that probably is that's gonna smart if he's got a pulled muscle. As it stands at the moment, though, even being behind, we are still ahead of Monaco because our start to the season has been so very good. That game against Lille aside, they're having another shot from range. This one, I think, touches the top of the crossbar, and it would be quite nice if we could just wake ourselves up a little bit here. The match stats suggest we've been the better team so far, but the highlights have been all Monaco. Until now, we get a corner, but unfortunately it is cleared only as far as Say. I'm not quite sure why he was the first player to get to it off of the corner. He certainly shouldn't be lurking at the edge of the area. We might have to have another look at our corner instructions here. Frey out to Nguema, who's looking for the cross. In fact, plays it over to Fowry, who does well to keep hold of the ball. That's a shot from range, and Fowry nearly scoring an absolute worldie there. I mean, I would have probably preferred to see him play Kevin Simon in, who I think was the guy just alongside him, but the shot, he ended up making it look good. And the keeper on the stretch, just about pushing it behind for the corner. It's now Frey with the throw. This is a better spell of pressure from us. Milinkovic playing it into Fowry, and Fowry's there again and thunders it into the top corner. How are you checking that for offside, referee? There's certainly no way Fowry's offside here. If some idiots got themselves stood in an offside position, then they'll get a slap. They haven't. Lovely stuff. Fowry is having a good game today. Milinkovic, what a pass to play it into the path of Fowry. I don't even know who they're looking at for offside there. Maybe Omar, who was nowhere near the play. But that's lovely work from Fowry, whose clubs that are chasing him are starting to get better and better. I think Leipzig and Dortmund are both currently in pursuit of Cyril Fowry. I know there's a lot of you who've been clambering for me to sell him for the last several seasons now, but ultimately he's homegrown at the club. On his day, he's probably one of our best players. I know he picks up injuries here and there, but looking through his history, last couple of seasons, he's only missed about 15 games across the 2 seasons. That's not huge. That's what, over 15 out of 70? What's that? It's like okay, he's missing about a quarter of our matches. But I think we've got enough players around us to cover for him now. If he's only going to play a quarter of the matches, he plays that well. What percentage of matches does Erling Haaland play? I bet he's not a million miles away from only having played a quarter of the matches he could have played for Dortmund. So people don't mind that with him, do they? So we shouldn't mind it with Cyril Fowry. And he's just shown there just how good he can be. 1-1, 55 minutes gone. And I would like to go and win this football match, if that could be arranged, please. I think it will make up for the disappointment of Lille in the last episode if we go and beat one of the top clubs in the division. It sends a message to everybody else that maybe this year we are going to be deserving of a spot in this top 4. Millet playing it into Omar, and there is Omar. I think he's probably just a smidgen offside, like he might well have been for the Fowry goal. This one, he was a smidgen more involved in, though, so I suspect this is getting chalked off. It is. He didn't quite time his run right. We'll have a look at it from the replay, I'm sure. Millet looking to slot him in. And yeah, Omar, it's fractional, but is just offside. It remains 1-1, but we are knocking on the door. We've been pretty good in this game so far. Millet now looks like he's tiring, so we might have to bring Benavides on. Benavides, of course, the former Monaco man, who's probably going to feel like he has a point to prove. Probably not just to Monaco, but to you lot as well. So I don't think Benavides has yet had a good game in front of you lot. Omar now taking it wide again. We saw how dangerous he can be doing this in the last match. That time, less so. Milinkovic tries to clean up his mess, and there's Simon playing it back to Milinkovic again. And Simon is looking to get in behind and play that cross, but instead finds Fowry, who is just having a stunning game. And Omar really owed Fowry a finish there, because I think Fowry probably could have taken that on himself, has decided to give it to Omar because you would expect Omar to have a better chance of scoring, and unfortunately, his shot goes just wide. Now it's Monaco on the attack. It's end-to-end stuff here, but we have dealt with that adequately. Big ball forward from Magothu. Omar trying to get under it for the flick on, but of course, aerial presence, not really his forte. And Monaco are bringing it straight back at us again, and Bertrand has been beaten for pace there. And unfortunately, it is Monaco who take the lead once again, and we just got caught a little bit flat with our defenders there. We dealt with the last couple of moves forward pretty well, but this time, Bertrand he's been ruined there for pace. He turned like Harry Maguire there. That was quite alarming to watch. Right, let's have a little look. We'll get Benavides on. Simon is tired, so we can bring Matt Seamer on for him again, even though Matt Seamer struggled a little bit when he came on in the last game. Omar's having a poor match, but I think for now, we have to leave him on. Christopher Robin is desperate to get on and get involved. But for now, he's just going to have to bide his time and wait for his spot in the team to emerge. I'm still not sure what I think. Probably the Fowry role is where Christopher Robin plays long term. But it's not really his best position. Maybe we have to shuffle the system around. Maybe when we bring Christopher Robin on, we go to a 4-2-3-1. Maybe that's when we are really going after a game. We sacrifice Thomas and bring on Christopher Robin. The only problem with that, of course, is against a team like Monaco, we really don't want to be without Thomas. And they've finished us off. They've proven that they are still a level above what we are. I guess we kind of already knew. We dreamed for a minute. I don't want to see the dirty old replay. What we will do is make a few more changes now. De Girolamo can come on. We'll get Christopher Robin on now as well. And I guess we'll get Gonzalez. Gonzalez can't play defensive midfield. That seems odd. He can play centre-back, right-back. Apparently not defensive midfield. So fair enough then. We'll bring on Carr, who can play there. We'll do that. That seems like an odd one. Probably need to get him training to play there because it would logically be a position that he should be able to slot quite nicely into. But I'm disappointed with that performance. I mean, overall, we're still in third place in the league. I can cope with that. But Paris Saint Germain look like they're starting to pull away. Monaco are getting themselves back involved again. And on our day, we're not on Monaco's level, as we've just seen here. And that is terrible from Benavides. And it's 3-on-3, and they're just slicing through us again as if we're not there. And Magothu this time does make the save. I wonder how different today might have been if he'd have been fully fit. I guess we'll never know. But I guess there's also no harm in him having a poor match against Monaco, because hopefully they won't realise just how good he is and might let us have him at a discount if they think he's rubbish because he plays badly against them while he's injured. There's logic to it. It's like the Conference League thing. It's all deliberate. I know what I'm doing. We're playing 4D chess this season, boys and girls. Right, we are going to get another chunk of games played, obviously with no Europe to distract us. We can fly through this season and hopefully get ourselves back into the Champions League. So we'll get a bunch more games played. We'll probably be beyond the halfway point of the season by tomorrow's episode. And hopefully still in the Champions League qualification spots. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.